We want to thank to New Music USA for co-commissioning this cohort's new works, and also thank Nancy and Joe Walker and Media Day Foundation. We're really excited to introduce you our host for our festival, the amazing Jordannah Elizabeth, who is also our editor-in-chief at Mutual Mentorship for Musicians, and who edited our first anthology of writings entitled The Art of Being True. Jordannah founded the literary arts organization called Public Private. Website is publicprivate.org, and there you can find our anthology, and also you can check our website, mutualmentorshipformusicians.org. Jordannah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here with day 2 of the M³ Festival. We're going to continue playing the music and the compositions of these amazing cohort duos who have given a lot of time, effort, and work into these beautiful pieces. And it is so exciting to have them. So please sit back and enjoy the music. Up next, we have Cleo Reed and Richie Seivwright with What I Keep Shedding Hits the Breeze.
trying to take tour. Knee deep in a race war. And I'm scrolling past seeing what I'm faking for. Sick of seeking fucking Venus full force. And I'm baking, being ready, being breaking full course.
Wow, thank you so much for your piece. So cool and so different. I kind of got like a kind of psychedelic electronic vibe coming from your music. How did that come about?
I'd say like both me and Cleo, we have our own things kind of going on, but I feel like in the beginning we both listened to, like before we started writing, we like had these Zoom calls and we just like sort of got to know each other and we shared like our own music together. And we both had like, there was some similarities and a lot of it's, I don't know, kind of psychedelic-y, like you said, and we used like production, electronics and stuff. So I don't know, we kind of just went with that and like just merged the sound together, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Cool. So I saw that there were kind of like different screens, and in the center of the piece there was a white screen. Is there a reason why you used like the white screen for a portion of your piece?
Oh, when we were talking about the segments of the piece, we understood that there was an ambient element and that there was like a more robust element, or maybe they're both robust, but just in a different way. One part is very relaxed and vocal heavy, and then one is very percussive. So I think as I was editing the video, I was just thinking about kind of dream space, and I knew that it was going to turn into that animated thing at the end. And I knew that having a real life element and then having an animated element kind of needed to be bridged in some way. And I think when I hear it, that's what I see as well. So it was definitely like a direct, like, okay, I'm hearing this, I see this overflow. And I kind of like that people can fill that space in the song with what they're seeing as well.
Yeah. That the cartoon with the giant woman holding the little guy, like
The cop.
Is there any reason why you used that cartoon?
Yeah, actually, I've been holding on to those cartoons for a while. I like surf YouTube a lot, and then I'll download and rip things off the internet. And I'm from uptown New York City, and like I think that element had a lot to do with like, I mean, we're both Black women, and I was like, who do I have as a Black woman in my hard drive? And I had that woman holding the cop. So I would just put it in. Yeah.
Nice. What inspired the lyric?
Well, I was definitely freestyling. Richie provided some very beautiful, like lush, brazen, I would say, like vocal ideas in the beginning. And so I was like, okay. And we just did it like that. We planned from the jump. Our first meeting, we were like, we need to make as many things as we can, so that we can start to form an idea that feels like both of us. And in a way, there were so many verbal conversations that were non-lyrical between the two of us, even if it was 10 minutes, even if it was 2 hours. And I really do feel like the words that I'm saying were just like a complete manifestation of what we'd been conversing about our personal lives, about everything. So
yeah, for sure. Like even we had like we had sent back and forth like loads of different versions, and then on one version, like I was like freestyling rapping.
I was like, you need to rap
over the B section, and like I was just saying like jumble nonsense, but like really it was kind of going with the theme. So I don't know, like there was always just this like unspoken like awareness of what we both were like trying to go for, I guess.
Yeah, in the world of creative music and improvisational jazz and stuff, you don't have a lot of hip hop influences. Do you both have those in your backgrounds and in your lives?
Yeah, Richie, can you speak to that?
Yeah, for sure. Hip hop, like I love hip hop. I love like Jay Dilla, Mos Def. Like I've grown up listening to that kind of music for sure. So it's always like there in the background, and sometimes in some moments it comes out, and then in others it comes out a bit less. But I definitely felt like in this project, especially in working with Cleo, like from America, and like I don't know, when we initially just started like making like the second half of the beat section, and then she like brought this amazing like drum loop, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling like that kind of vibe. And yeah.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like our modes of creativity and like what we've grown up as the methods of expression, because like we've both grown up in the computer age where like making music on your computer is what to do.
Mm.
And I think that for me, that kind of really affects my process. And we did a lot of different processes. We both played guitar in versions of the record. We both, sang, which are, traditional ways of creating. But then we also, Richie is a killing producer in her own right, and can create like beats and like, make things in Logic. So we knew that we had that shared understanding of practicum, I guess, like method of making. So I think that kind of played a huge part in why the genre ends up being hip hop generationally and what resources we have access to.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we're going to wrap this up, but I do want to know what your favorite parts or instances were in working together and working in the M³ collective orb of creativity.
I'd say
Can you
for
repeat
me,
the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about working with Richie and M³ in general?
Okay.
I've really enjoyed just the meetings, the general just cohort meetings. Like it's just so enlightening to listen to like women from all over, all ages, and like coming together and like sharing just knowledge. We need more of that, I think. And yeah, I'm so grateful to receive that. And with Cleo, I don't know, I guess it's just like the random moments, like even during M³ meetings, we're just like messaging each other sometimes, or like afterwards we'll call each other and then we'll talk, or like just random calls, just talking about whatever. But yeah, that's it for me, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. My favorite part of M³ has definitely been the diversity in age. Like I love that there are musicians of all ages present and we're all there centered having conversations. And there were some weeks where I was just like sitting and listening and absorbing and very much in student space. And that's a resource I couldn't trade for the world. And when something like that comes along, it's not something that I would ever, play with or pass up, for sure. Yeah. And my favorite parts about working with Richie, I think, is her willingness to meet me where I'm at. I think she's an amazing collaborator. I think she's an extraordinary collaborator, and I'm excited to see everything that she ends up doing, whether it's her solo work or her work with Kakoroko, or maybe a new band, maybe a band with me, maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
Trolling. But yes. Yeah.
Yes. And Cleo's amazing too. It's just been such a blessing to be able to work with her.
Crazy. It's been cool. Like the level of skill you're at, like, oh, and then we both have backgrounds, we have similar, we both can play instruments and then compose and then also do this stuff. So it's been amazing. It's rare.
It was like, for me, it was just a complete, like, how did we end up getting paired together?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you two are definitely of the future and a great, amazing representation of our generation, coming into a new age and a new era, and all eras are amazing and should be respected. But I'm just really pleased and excited to have talked with you both. And we'll all be watching and listening as you both go out into the world and make more music. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. This has been really exciting.
Thank you so much, Jordannah, for your time.
Yes.
And the excellent questions.
Up next, we have Fay Victor and Samantha Boshnack's piece, Breaks Between Work, Alone at Last.
strange on this new roller coaster. I don't know which way is up, down, or in between. Just breaks When times are hard, I hide myself through darkest nights. I find myself alone at last. last, alone at last, alone at last.
Wow, I really love that piece. It's very exciting and stunning. Faye, what does a break between work actually look like for you?
Oh, that's such a good question. Like maybe taking us sit in the garden, for half an hour maybe, or take a short walk, or maybe make a quick phone call,
Mhm.
or send a series of social texts, things like that. Yeah.
Hmm. What made you both choose that Nina Simone clip? It's a pretty famous interview. What inspired you both about her work?
Well, I'm a long time Nina Simone fan, and when I was sending clips, I happen to have that I had posted recently, because a lot of people just post the last part of that phrase,
Hmm.
and I made a Instagram post where she basically goes into the entire conversation around it. So yeah, and I thought it was really cool. And it was just a clip that I had, and I thought, well, I'll just, I didn't demand that it be used, but Mariana added it, and I thought it was perfect because the way she's sitting at a desk, and because you're not really hearing what she's saying, but if you know anything about that statement about being relevant, artists being relevant to their time, and you've seen that clip, so I thought that was really cool the way she put that in, being at a desk and being busy and like being really, animated and active. Yeah.
Samantha, you wrote Alone at Last. Tell me a little bit about that portion of the piece.
Yeah, so that piece kind of came out of a day where I've been studying climate change kind of intensely over the last since about the same time as I started this program, and it kind of came from a place where I was just feeling like I just wanted to be away from human society, was feeling kind of angry, and it kind of came from an improvisation I did at a by listening to this recording I made of some red-winged blackbirds. I don't know if you've ever been around like a ton of red-winged blackbirds, and their song is just amazing.
Hmm.
So I kind of started with that, and I was just thinking about that feeling of like when you're angry and you just want to be alone, but then kind of coming to a place where feeling like, okay, there are good things that bring you out of that feeling, and finding the strength to kind of re-enter society, or try to engage with things and try to make the world a little better place through music or whatever.
Yeah, the piece is written in two movements. What made you decide to kind of do kind of a co-compositional movement, double movement piece?
You mean between the breaks between work and Alone at
Yeah,
Last?
yeah.
Well, I mean, Faye might be able to talk to this too, but I think we both are composers as well as improvisers, but it felt like in this context that if we could be in a room together, improvising would be amazing. But since we couldn't do that, we kind of both got to writing on our own after having a bunch of conversations. We were like, well, let's just try to write something for each other and see what happens. And so there's sort of two things. Faye did the breaks between work, and I did the Alone at Last, and then we kind of went back and forth and each recorded each other on each other's pieces and gave feedback.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess what I'd add to that is, um, as Samantha said, we kind of came to a moment where we said, well, let's just kind of just write some music. Let's just start writing. And it turned out, which I thought was pretty miraculous, that what we wrote, without really saying to each other what we were going to write. We just said, let's just write. I'll write, you'll write, and to find out that the pieces actually really went well together. It's pretty amazing to me. And because we're improvisers, we could figure out really cool ways to seam them together, or seam each piece together at the end or in between or whatever. So I thought that was really, because you could have never predicted that. So.
Yeah, that's so exciting that came together. I like the trumpet melody on between breaks. Like, did you both decide to like make the vocal melody and the trumpet melody the same?
Well, that part, breaks between work, I wrote completely. Yeah, and that's something I play with a lot in composition, is moving around, taking the same melodic information and moving it around between instruments, and that's a portion. There's a part where the trumpet takes over from the bass line. Yeah.
So tell me what your absolute favorite part of working together and working with M3 is.
I would say for me, just really sort of having an opportunity to think a bit differently and to connect with new amazing artists. With the bigger conversations, but also with Samantha, and that's just been pretty amazing about it. And having so the organization around so much, a lot of time to kind of get to know each other, between getting to know Samantha and also getting to know the larger cohort.
Yeah, I would say this program gave me a much needed rejuvenation. Just kind of having all these inspiring women to hear their stories, and especially Fay, and really getting to know her music and getting an opportunity to write for someone of her caliber, and and then hearing her sing it was just a real rush. And so I just think there's a lot of inspiring moments over the last 6 months, and I think and I hope it kind of continues on to feel connected to these people and to Fay. And I think it will.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for this time and so much for your piece. It is so exciting to see you two working together and working with all of the cohorts and Jordannah and M3, and I wish you both the best, and I will be listening to your music.
Thank you, Jordannah.
Thanks.
And now we have Miriam Elhajli and Chloe Kim's piece, Rough Surprise, Vaccine Rollout.
out rolls of thick flesh, wide-hipped mama, how could I ever forget you? Roll out, but where to now? Back to roots of incommensurable tragedy, Auburn, Alabama, now you see me, now you don't know the dividing line of shame and invisible ink naming red, blue, white, man, tips only in promises. I need cash only, Bobby. Yeah, for Lily's leche powder running low, and the food stamps neighborhood deli, they cut the program. They don't take me anymore, so find me a new formula. An algorithm, a terminal leukemia formula for each cancerous mitochondria, a formula for the parasites of spring skipping drunk down Avenue D. So find me a way to remember what Abuela said, the real McCoy. Cause DJ told me that the last collard green seed still exists if we can only remember what it tastes like. Vaccine roll out, roll out. Anti-vaxxer, syringe paranoia, blood clot claustrophobia, banned, approved, misunderstood by the FDA in former colony, stolen goodies. So where's the money, Uncle Joe? 3,000 and counting. You owe us direct deposit distribution to the whole population, because under the radar Bernardo can't take me in anymore. Popped by a pig at Port Authority. Hey man, Bernardo, pick up, I gotta get out of here. I have to get out of here. Roll out to suburban picket invisibility. Day laborer hustle figment of inalienable Mars rocket spree. Now Senor John hosts cocktail parties and talks NFTs and renewable energy while choking on a styrofoam straw. Am I making you uncomfortable, sir? Excuse me. Am I making you uncomfortable? By my sheer galactic golden presence underestimated. That Rift Valley black gold of the sun. Yes, that sun is our sun, not your son of God, for God is sound. Whose birthing hips thundered life, sacrifice, love to the unborn. So roll out the boat. Mass children sing, green chalk clasp held between baby teeth, gently down the stream. While the super on 11th Street sheds one tear of San Juan homesickness, merrily, oh merrily, tumbling, grumbling, Tony T watches from his slanted window one more sunset blocked by half-built abandoned luxury duplexes. Life is but a dream, so row your boat. Down the street.
Wow, that music was so amazing, and I'm super excited to talk to the two artists, Miriam Elhajli and Chloe Kim. The music was so different and intense and very deep, and I wonder how you decided to, or what made you decide kind of to talk about the Latin experience during COVID-19. Was that kind of the gist of what the spoken word and everything was about?
I guess I'll answer on that side. Um, well, I had to speak from my own experience and what I was seeing around me in my neighborhood, which is, you know, predominantly Dominican, Puerto Rican neighborhood. And yeah, I mean, at the time, I was just writing a lot and finding ways in which, you know, we could incorporate this spoken word and these stories into this framework. Yeah.
For me, because I am currently based in Sydney, Australia, and for about the past 6 months or so, COVID situation has been quite positive, thankfully and gratefully. But
Good.
so when I first started working with Miriam and heard the lyrics, I did realize how in other parts of the world it is still a very serious problem. And overall, internationally, we haven't defeated it yet. So it was a good reminder and a humble reminder for me to recognize the struggles that people have and the struggles artists have currently. Um, yeah, because Miriam did put all the texts together really well, and I was very happy to work around more focused on the sonic parts of the music.
Tell me about the two split screens. What do they represent?
I love these are great questions, and yeah, well, Chloe, I'm interested. Well, Chloe has we each have our own experience, but I'll say for me, you know, there has been in the lexicon and the narrative that we've been hearing this just pre and post, right? Pre-COVID, post-COVID, we're still within a very sort of nebulous space. But also the division of Chloe and I and our two different perspectives being disparate, but also having a lot of commonalities within them, and to be able to showcase, you know, what are the commonalities in, you know, from New York City to Australia, the threads that tie us together, water and nature being one of them, and that force, and also just the sort of the adversities that each different community is facing. That was my interpretation of the splits. But yeah, what about you, Chloe?
Yeah, I am very similar to Miriam as well. Alongside the nature and water, there were also trees and trains and the little sceneries of people that I provided what I could see everyday life. But watching Miriam's side of story was a whole another new world for me that for the past pre-COVID, I didn't get to, sorry, post-COVID, I didn't get to experience for a long time. So yeah, the idea of two worlds being in the same screen but still having a bit of a distance apart from each other, and a different story, different timeline as well. So there are parts where my side is a bit more dark in the evening scenery, where Miriam's is a bit more active and bright. Yeah, so it was just interesting to see the visual representation of two different cities in two different worlds.
So interesting. So I guess I'm wondering, and we've talked a lot about the two different worlds and the dividing lines, but maybe we should get into composition. What made you decide to start with the drum solo and the kind of quietness to the crescendo? What did that peak in regards to the drum solo kind of mean, and what did you feel doing that, Chloe?
Miriam and I originally started with the second part of the song, and that was inspired by Miriam. You could probably explain this better than me, but in our first meeting, she did a little singing for me while holding a mug, and Miriam went through the shape of the mug and improvised with it. To me, that was mind-blowing. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So we thought, and we agreed, we should think of the vaccine and the shape of the injection as a conceptual shape of the music. And to me, the shape of injection has a scary feature. It's very cold and very sharp. So in the first part of the music that is a bit more instrumental focused, I decided to express some of the roughness and the sharpness. So if you can hear, there are a lot of staccato expressions happening on my drum set. And yeah, the peak would be the moment that we get a little shot. So I was trying to express that through solo drumming.
Awesome. Miriam, how long did it take you to write those lyrics?
Yeah, I usually when I write, it's very just 30 minutes, and it just comes out. I try to enter into a space and not leave it until it's done. And with that one, I was feeling a lot of rage and other feelings, and yeah, it happened in a day. Yeah.
What were your conversations like? Were you physically or literally talking about the differences between your two worlds, or did they kind of come out organically while you were just talking about music in general? How did everything kind of congeal between the both of you in conversation?
I think it happened both simultaneously, because Miriam has been such a great listening partner for me, but also providing all her opinions. There was an ongoing two streams of opinions and listening action happening. So when we were doing duo meetings, I really enjoyed listening to Miriam, but also feeling very comfortable and safe and respected to transfer my thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I would say very, very similarly, and Chloe approaches everything with such intention, that to me, it made me sort of rise up to that challenge as well of, I think in the world of improvised music, sometimes we just say, oh, let's see what happens sometimes, but rather approaching improvisation from a place that it has extreme amounts of intention behind every nuance. And that really inspired me as well in the process of more of the sonic aspect rather than the the written aspect, where to me it's very just sort of stream of consciousness, just coming out and visualizing the images, but finding a way to translate the visual aspect of what the narrative is into sound. So that was a really fun experience.
Yeah, we have 1 minute left, and I'm just wondering, you know, when you two were brought together, what was kind of the first thing you noticed about one another creatively?
Before our first meeting, I was already a huge fan of Miriam's existing music, which everyone here today should go and have a listen to it. It's available on different streaming services, I believe, Miriam. And so I entered in just loving the idea of working with this beautiful woman that I've never met before, but has such powerful sound and compositional skills, and a voice and this ability to transfer her messages. Yeah, I was just extremely grateful and enjoyed every single meetings we had.
I mean, I'm just so excited to actually play in person, Chloe. You know, one thing I'll say about Chloe is her capacity to be involved in so many different avenues and explorations of sound. The first meeting we were talking about pansori, and you know, just you had such a beautiful explanation for the training of that style, and her really endless curiosity towards so many different fields of music and styles, and finding your own approach and where you sort of fit within that, but also carving your own path. So yeah, it's been a really an honor, and to more things in person. That would be
Yes,
nice.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. The piece was brilliant. I watched it a few times, and I was so excited to see it and experiences. And I'm sure that, you know, the audience and people all over the world watching this will be inspired and in awe of your amazing work. So thank you.
Thank you, Jordannah.
Thank you very much, Jordannah.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Applause, applause!
Yeah, that was amazing.
Amazing. Yes, if we can get to gallery view and bring everyone on screen.
Yeah.
Who just performed.
So now we have our question and answer part, live event. So whoever has questions, please send them in the chat, and the artist will have the opportunity to answer live. But we already have one question here from Jen. So do you want to ask your question, Jen?
Sure. So yeah, I was just curious from each duo, because in our format we do kind of pair someone with another who haven't worked together before, and in most cases who haven't even met before. So I'm just curious for each duo what the most challenging thing was in collaborating with someone new to them, but also the most rewarding in this very short, intense period of time. So that's my question. Who wants to go first?
I could go first, I guess. I think the most rewarding part of it is I just feel like every time you get to work with someone brand new that you haven't worked with before, you get to really like try to listen to their sound, try to listen to what they're trying to say, and try to, you know, create something specifically for them. You gain a little more musical knowledge, and it just pushes you to new places. And I felt very pushed by Fay to do something new, and then playing her music felt pushed, and I just really enjoyed that. I think the challenging thing was just the technological part. That was my first time ever recording something on my own. And so it was a big undertaking, but it was also really a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, if I'll just chime in since I was paired with Samantha. Yeah, I would say the really great thing about collaborating with Samantha or just anyone for the first time is that sort of that wonder, that sort of moment of wonder where it's like, what's gonna happen, what's going to unfold with this new, already knowing some of her music in the case of Samantha and knowing something about her, but just sort of seeing how will chemistry come together. That was kind of the for me really the exciting and rewarding part. And I would say the challenging part is I think figuring out maybe philosophically kind of how to arrive at what will be the subject matter of what we will actually create music for. So, but we figured it out. But yeah, that was challenging.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi. Well, I'll say hi. I'll say for me, the most difficult thing was that we weren't able to do things in real time, but in a way that was also the blessing because it allowed us to, something that you might respond to immediately, an idea or I don't know, you want to change something in the form. We had more time to sort of sit with the idea and the time difference was quite vast between Chloe and I, but in the sun rising and setting in our two zones, we had a lot of time to think through ideas that maybe would have been responded to quite quickly before. So that was us. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, Miriam. I remember listening to your first draft of recording when I couldn't go to bed, thinking, it's going to be great to listen to it. But it was this intense texts of vaccine rollout. Listening to it for the first time right before I fell asleep was really interesting because I was just thinking, oh yeah, I need to wake up and then think about this again rather than trying to do anything at this moment. So it was really nice to, take some moments to sit on it, rethink about it, and then come up with, written text to communicate with you via email was, an experience I've never done with any musicians that I work with who are physically close to me. So that was really fun and exciting and showing us a huge potential that this kind of communication can work. Yeah.
Yay!
Oh,
Cleo and Richie.
hi. Our video played first, anyone that's watching. And I feel as though the most challenging part of working and being paired with Richie, I mean, honestly, was just the time difference. Like, we have great chemistry as collaborators and everything. And I really believe the hardest part was just like finding the time. Like, Richie was the first person that I was speaking to when I was waking up, probably for the past few months, like at least once a week. Like, so that was turbulent, I would say. And the most rewarding part was just finding that blend. Like, I feel so proud of our work because I do feel like sonically we really found a place where we weren't adjacent to each other, where we sound like one voice. Like, there are parts where Richie's singing and I was like, is that me? Like, and then there's parts when I'm vocalizing and I'm like, is that Richie? And I love that feeling. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it was, the same as most people, the time difference. Just like waking up, sorry, my niece is doing a lot. It's just the time difference, yeah. Waking up and like getting to work and Cleo's not really there. But I guess at the same time, it was also one of the most rewarding things. Being able to sit with the idea for a bit and then like really process it, listen to it over a couple of times, and then when Cleo was like available, then hearing her opinions and like having a level-headed approach to everything, I guess. Yeah.
I have a question for Cleo and Richie actually. How was the video? How did you develop the images? Like, was it simultaneous with the music or did it came last? How was it like adding the images to the sound?
Okay, so sorry, my computer's dying. So we spoke a lot about what we wanted to do. Thank you, Sada, first of all, for asking. And I
You're breaking up, Cleo.
A lot of conversations, and Richie was like, I could film around my house, and I was like, great, send me those. Oh, it's breaking up.
Well, Cleo. Okay. You're on mute,
You might
Cleo.
have to pick it up, Richie.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we were doing with the videos, like in the beginning, we both like brainstormed ideas. We were trying to think of a concept of what the video was revolved around. And I thought, okay, like I'm gonna go out, see some surroundings, and take some photos and clips and videos of the thing. And initially, we both said we wanted to work on the video ourselves. And Cleo has like a lot of experience on creating videos and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, Cleo, like, yeah, she took kind of a lead on the whole video, and she just came up with like amazing stuff. With like the first part you would see in the first part of the piece, where it's more so ambient, is like the collection of videos that I took, and she had like just basically like messed with all of them and added effects and stuff. And then afterwards, the B section, it was like a collection of like things that Cleo had collected over an amount of time, and she put that together. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm back. Thank you, Richie, and for coming to the rescue. And with the second half, I put that together in Resolume, which is like if anyone's familiar, it's like a light show program. So I totally just did it like that because I like space. I like it would be cool to see that in a room on walls. And that's kind of what I was thinking about. And I'm happy that we got to do that together because we just wanted to display contrast. And that was our main goal.
Yeah, it's such a powerful piece. Thank you for that. Yeah. There's a question for Fay and Samantha. How was matching the sonorities of trumpet and voice? This question is from Monette.
Well, it's kind of interesting for me. Samantha can speak on her side. Sonny, until maybe about 3 years ago, I never even played with trumpet, much less wrote for trumpet. So, and I started writing a lot for a trumpeter named Jamie Breezy Branch for a project that she's in with me. And because of that, started to understand and hear how trumpet and voice could really work well together, and started to really, really, really like it. So it was just kind of, fortuitous that I was paired with another trumpeter, with Samantha, and yeah, and I like to write sort of lines together that sometimes have harmony or not, yeah, and just sort of experiment playing with by ear, at least on my side, by ear, what sounds great together. What I think will work.
Yeah, I love trumpet and voice, and I was really like amazed at, like, I haven't written for a ton of vocalists, and I was so amazed at Fay's range, and then there was so much space for me to fit in within her huge range, and so yeah, I really, and the cool thing about writing trumpet and voice is every voice is so different that it's like it's a cool, it was a really amazing experience.
Great, thank you. I have one more question, actually, for each duo. First of all, like, how has this new kind of collaboration basically collaborating apart from each other, and also trying to create something which is like a performance, which is a video, right? You're not like performing live. And also like the combination of instruments. How has this opened doors for your own musical practice, or like what has changed in your perspectives in your own musical practice? And Chloe, Miriam, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll say that it, sometimes we feel, I'll say sometimes I think I have to really fully delve deep into one medium, but then this opened my mind into a lot of interdisciplinary work and finding ways to communicate the same sentiment through different mediums, and actually how that can sort of multiply the intention somehow. It's like you're finding ways to communicate the same substance through all these different mediums. So next time, dancers, theater, comedians, clowns, and we'll do it all. Yeah.
For me, it was a very refreshing experience to working with every musicians, and especially Miriam in this program, because I would say the community that I'm involved in is fairly small. It's relatively smaller than, say, American jazz or improvised music scene. So now that I've been working as an active musician in this community, I've been getting quite familiar with the drill, so called. And I didn't realize that I was getting used to that habit of going through a certain checklist in a way to work and fit into this community. But working with people outside of my community, it really reminded me again to work out how to communicate with other people and how to process different missions together, and how we could do it in this very unique setup. So that was really impressive and valuable experience for me.
Thank you. Richie and Cleo, would you like to go next?
Yes, I feel definitely similar to Miriam in that way. Like, I definitely have been influenced to continue to create and render visuals based on what I'm making musically, and to the point where like every project that I'm thinking of right now has a visual in mind, which is a really nice place to be in. And this was my first time creating a video in this way for this style for performance, and it has me thinking a lot about that. So I'm very grateful to M³ for that.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's broadened my idea of like what I can really do with music and the gifts that I have. It's made me think of like, I don't know, just loads of different ways of doing it, rather than just the pure solid route of being an artist, playing live shows, putting out music, and then that's that. Yeah, I'd love to just work on loads of collaborations with artists, organizations, like in all fields of art. So for me, it's that kind of thing.
Thank you, Richie and Cleo. Yeah. Fay and Samantha.
I think for me, yeah, just like I said, this was my first endeavor on the recording, and I really enjoyed it. And also just, yeah, the idea of really collaborating with anyone, anywhere. Like, I'm in Seattle. I mean, I travel some, but just to be able to do that was so cool. And working with Mariana was so great and easy. I just kind of sent her some clips of ideas I had, which was basically just kind of like the way light shines through dark places and things like that. And then she came up with this thing. So that was really cool. I didn't, I don't have a lot of video skills, and I still don't have a lot of video skills, but it's so cool to like meet someone like Mariana, where you could just throw something and then she just like put something together that when I watched it, I was like, wow, this feels so good. And so I really liked that. I liked that part of it too.
Yeah, what I would like to to add. I feel like I learned just a lot how to create sound through new technology. I had a DAW like before I started working with Samantha, but through working with Samantha, I really had to learn a lot about how to use it, how to record, how to mix, everything. So that was really amazing. And now I feel like if I had to make a solo project, I could do it. And in terms of like videos, I've been making a lot of videos on my own. I don't think I'm really good at it, but I have been having a lot of fun making videos on my own for a really long time. Always with some sort of music in mind, or create music and then put so. But I felt like it was great to have Mariana work on the video for this project, and I thought how she brought it together. I especially liked in my piece how in that middle section how she sort of brought in like the beach and the snow, and that sort of I really sort of bring to the fore that idea of sort of days just can be confused with one another. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. It was just so great to hear all your answers, and just how like we're kind of continuously learning with each other, like either through our meetings or just watching your pieces and hearing about your experience. I'm wondering if anyone else has a question. Now's the time to ask. And if not, like I think we can move forward. First, we would like to thank Vanessa Reed, Franco Terry, and everyone at the New Music USA for supporting this cohort, our Winter Solstice 2020 cohort. And to Nancy and Joe Walker and our fiscal sponsor, New York Foundation for the Arts.
Yes, and we really want to thank our audio engineer, Andrea Ambrio, and our videographer, who we talked about a lot today, Mariana Meraz, for helping 4 of our 6 duos do their duets. And we really want to thank also Emily Brookwalter, as well as Michael Dessen, and just everyone who has supported so far. And I see some donations coming in, which is exciting. And we really want to give a big thank you to our editor-in-chief, Jordannah Elizabeth, who hosted the performances and interviews. So yeah. Oh, and I'm sure you've seen in the chat, we've been dropping the donate link. We are doing our first fundraiser ever, and hoping to raise $5,000 for our future cohort, next cohort, which we are selecting at this moment. So your contribution goes directly to creating the works, the like of which you've seen today. So let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And now we have the other members of the cohort, Malika, Michelle, Monette, Shanta.
Yay.
You can show us your beautiful faces, and Camila is here with us too. Yay!
Yay! Yay.
Hi!
Unmute yourself.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
So amazing to see everyone.
It's awesome.
Hi, Michelle.
Great work today, everybody. Beautiful pieces.
Thank you, Monette.
Beautiful. Super.
I love your eyebrows too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great work.
Today. Hairstyle, everything. You look like a glamour girl today.
Yeah.
I tried to match the pre-recorded video. I tried to match the pre-recorded video.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all set the tone yesterday, though. Y'all set the tone. Day 1, so thank you.
Thank you, Jen and Sarah, for putting this together and making this all happen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, thank you, Jen and Sarah.
Yeah.
The best 2021 ever. I mean, it was hard, but you helped me get through, guys. Really, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really,
amazing.
a light shining during our times inside in the room, in the bedrooms and offices and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what our meetings look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, you have to take
reminds
a
me of
screenshot.
classes.
Classes. Yeah.
So we want to thank everyone for joining us for these 2 past days. Yes, and we'll be sending you more news soon, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And there's an anthology coming with the writings from all these amazing artists in September, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah.
Yes. Yay! We have one more meeting among us. Our
Yes.
last meeting of the program, but yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining, and yes, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks for
Thank
everything.
you. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.